Hello, I'm Natasha from Travel and Tash. Welcome to my vlog. Thank you so much for listening. Today I'm going to be talking about my 9 steps to my morning routine. This is going to be the first video in a series of 3 where I outline the 9 steps that I do every morning to feel fantastic and start my day off right. To begin with, I'm going to say that this is actually based on a blog that I wrote and is currently available on my website, travelandtash.com. This is essentially a video accompaniment to give extra details or to hear my story more in person. I'm going to add a link to the bottom of this video so that you can access the article that I wrote. Before going any further, I would like to explain that my 9 steps to my morning routine began with a particular catalyst that happened in my life about a year ago that made me feel so strongly and passionately about turning my life around and starting to implement more self-awareness in my life in general. And that catalyst essentially was something that happened that was a really negative romantic relationship that essentially resulted in things like sleepless nights, and I began to develop anxiety about it and develop chest pains. It was overwhelmingly emotional at the time, and it was for me, it was so interesting that I was actually having a physical response to this degree of emotional pain. I don't think well, in fact, I know that's never ever happened to me before. And so I was so distraught and so upset that I allowed this to happen to me, that it forced me to reevaluate particular things in my life. And I began asking myself questions like, who am I? What is my identity in the first place? What do I even want from life? And how do I value, or how do I even love myself? Like, I didn't even know where to start. I wasn't sure whether I even valued or loved myself, and I didn't even know how or where to begin to express that towards myself. And so, reflecting on these things, I began to realize that in all of these years as an adult, I've never really invested in myself. I've never taken the time to develop my skills as an adult and understand a bit more about who I am. And I've always been so distracted. I've always distracted myself from learning about myself. I've distracted myself with a career, with essentially worrying about making sure that I'm pleasing my employer, that I'm getting really, really good grades. If I'm in school or university at the time, that I'm always academically doing well, or performing really well in my job. That I didn't have time to think about me, or think about who I am, or what I want, or where I'm going with my life. And to be honest, these are all excellent excuses. There are fantastic opportunities for me to distract myself and not address things that were actually, or are actually, really important to me. And I think that this is something that's not special to my case. I think that that's something that a lot of people do, including many of my friends, and that's the reason why I'm recording this video, is that I want to reach out to my friends, and I want people that are searching for something, some kind of fulfillment or some kind of happiness beyond what they have right now, to understand that they're not alone, and that this struggle is something that other people experience too. I want to give a little bit of detail about how I've managed to get my life back on track, a lot later than I ever really planned to. And to be honest, I don't know that I actually really planned to ever get my life on track. I think that I just deprived myself all this time of even thinking about it. So after this catalyst of romantic disaster that left me hollow and left me feeling really empty and with a sense of identity issues where I just really didn't know who I was anymore, or what I deserved. I began to take dramatic action to change my life, and as cliche as that may sound, I really needed something. I needed to find a way to take control of my emotions without being reactive all the time, but actually managing my emotions so that I'm happy every day, and so that I am empowered to get what I want from my life, and that I define for myself what is it that I even want, and so refusing to wallow in this abyss of unhappiness. I began to seek outside help, and I'd already been following a YouTube channel of a fella called Clark Kegley, and I'd been following him for quite a few months already. And he was a fantastic source, because he introduced me to the concepts of why journaling is so important, why keeping a gratitude diary can be really useful. He introduced me to some of the really important books out there that a lot of really successful people write and read, and the qualities that are needed to have a life that will produce the kind of fulfillment that every single human needs. Through Clark Kegley, I began to develop other mentors like Tony Robbins. And Tony Robbins, he introduced me to this concept of the 6 human needs, including the need to learn, and the need to share the information that you're learning with others, and the need to feel significant, that everybody needs to feel significant. And I watched a few of Tony Robbins's his conferences that he would talk at, and it began to get me thinking, and started to produce more self-awareness in myself. I was thinking to myself, okay, so this type of behavior suggests this is going on, and am I indeed being reactive all the time, or am I actually managing my emotions and getting the reactions from other people that are more desirable, that are actually what the outcome that I desire? And then I also found out about a fella called Hal Elrod, and he had a miracle morning. He had a miracle morning story, and he introduced me to a lot of ideas about how to have a successful morning routine. And it's actually Hal Elrod and also a fella called Evan Carmichael, who I also subscribe to on YouTube. And these fellas have helped me to piece together a morning routine that I find really works well for me. It's my current routine, and that's what I'm going to go into shortly. So in all honesty, I need to give credit where credit's due, and that largely comes down to a lot of the ideas that I've taken from Evan Carmichael and Hal Elrod. Additionally, I've also been subscribing recently to a fellow called Jake Ducey. Now, Jake Ducey talks a lot about the concepts of the law of attraction and self-hypnosis, building self-confidence, and his videos they include a lot of affirmations about how to really enrich your self-confidence and drag you out of mediocrity, and all of these videos, all of these people that I subscribe to combined, just really help fuel my my determination every morning to just maximize every single day. And that's precisely what I want to share with you. So this is the first video in a series of 3. In my next 2 videos, I'm going to present what those 9 steps are. Thank you so much for watching. Check me out at travelingtash.com. I'll link a YouTube URL below so that you can find me on my website and also on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks so much for watching. Keep learning.